calls it the feel-good bill of the year, and we'll tell you exactly what we mean by that. Hi there, we're here in the halls of the state capitol. I'm Beverly Weaver, and this is Comcast Newsmakers, and with me now is Representative Joe Salazar. Welcome, thanks for being with us, Representative.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, let's talk about this legislation. You call it the feel-good bill. It is pertaining to in-state tuition for American Indians in Colorado. Tell me what you're trying to accomplish with this legislation and why it really is important.
Sure, and there's a reason why it's called the feel-good bill of the year. Right out of the gate, upon introduction, we have 30 co-sponsors on the bill, which includes 4 Republicans. And so it's a good bipartisan bill. And basically what we're trying to accomplish is to provide in-state tuition for American Indian students who are registered in federally recognized tribes, and those tribes have historic ties to Colorado. And right now there's 48 tribes as designated by the Colorado Commission on Indian Affairs that have historic ties to Colorado. But those students live in other states. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to entice those students to come back to what is essentially their homeland and go to public colleges and universities here in Colorado.
Right, so kind of to create a brain trust, if you will, of bringing these students back to where their people came from, if you will.
Yes, yeah.
Let's talk about what that means for the student. What kind of benefit would they get out of it, Joe? Obviously, with in-state tuition, it's going to be a cheaper cost, but how much could that save a family?
Well, it could save quite a bit. Right now, I met with a student up at the University of Colorado at Boulder. He is a Zia Pueblo, and he pays $45,000 a year right now. So having in-state tuition would effectively reduce his tuition by half to even more than half.
Wow, wow. And you say 48 tribes originally or have some type of tie to Colorado. That seems like a very large number. Is that higher than a lot of other states?
No, not necessarily. You know, Arizona and New Mexico have a number of tribes that are historic to those particular states. We just had a lot of tribes finding themselves here, right, basing themselves here as their homeland.
Yeah, well, it is a great state, so
we
have to say that.
Right.
In terms of this legislation, you know, the benefit that you see to particular families, are you getting support from Indian education organizations that really are bringing that backing to it as well?
You betcha. Native American Rights Fund has already endorsed this bill. American Indian Science and Engineering Society has endorsed this bill. Rocky Mountain Indian Chamber of Commerce has endorsed this bill. A number of educators in Colorado and outside of Colorado are also endorsing this bill. And we have not run across any opposition as of yet, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah. In terms of what this would mean, perhaps if you had students coming back here from other states, I would imagine your hope is that they will stay in the state, become an employed person here, and obviously bring more educated workforce to Colorado.
Yes, that is one of my hopes, is that that they're educated here, that they remain here, start up businesses here, or contribute to our economy through business here in the state of Colorado. And I can imagine that many of them will go back to their tribes and help their tribes flourish as well, and encourage the next generation to come here to Colorado.
Yeah, and it is important to encourage that legacy, if you will, that learning legacy for kids who may not have that opportunity.
Well, when we think about it, we think about cycles of poverty. We take a look at education primarily, and we know that American Indian students have their graduation rates are remarkably less than other ethnic groups. We know that their enrollment in higher education is remarkably less, and we know that their poverty rates are extremely, it's an extreme amount.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this bill will help address that situation.
All right, Representative Joe Salazar, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you much.
All right, and thanks for watching Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Beverly Weaver.